Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to do a valve clearance check and adjustment if needed. I will do this video in segments so it will be hard to get lost, and if you still do get lost, just comment down below on anything you need help with and I will help you out as soon as possible. Okay, the first step you're going to want to do is take off all your fairings. In order to take off your fairings, you're going to want to use a 5/16 socket, and you're going to take off this bolt, this one down here, the one in the middle, the one right there, the one down here, and the one up here. And it'll be the same thing on the corresponding side. Once you have taken off all of your fairings and undid all the bolts, your seat should come right off. You just pull it back and it should pop right off. And that would be the next step. For your third and fourth step, you're going to need your 5/16 again. You're going to undo this bolt right here that goes to the gas tank, and you're also going to need a 10mm, and you're going to want to undo these 3 bolts, and then on the other corresponding side it'll be the same. Alright, for a safe place to put this bolt so you don't lose it, this is what I do. I take out the bolt and I put it right here, and you shouldn't lose it. For the fifth step, you're going to need to take off your radiator fan. There'll be these 3 bolts with a 10mm socket, this one back here, and this one down here. And when you take off these 2 right there, there's going to be a little bracket in the back that the bolt screws into, so make sure you don't drop those and lose them. Just put your hand back here so you can catch them both, especially with this one. Once you've unbolted your radiator fan, what you're going to want to do is unplug this wire right here from the radiator. You're going to push this down and you're going to pull back and it should come right off. And then you're going to pick up your radiator fan and put it right here. It should just sit. And if you want to, for safety, you can put a zip tie if you want. If not, then it should be fine. The next step you're going to do is you're going to pick up your gas tank and put it to the side. I'm going to show you how to do it, but I need 2 hands. So I'm going to stop the video and I'll start it again and show you how I put it on the frame. Okay, I picked up the gas tank and I put it to the side. I put it on the frame like so, on the right side, and you can use your handlebars to hold the gas tank so it doesn't fall. For the next step, you're going to want to put a zip tie on your wiring loom and lift it out of the way so you can get to the 3 bolts on top of the engine. When the 3 bolts are exposed and you can get to them, you're going to use your 10mm socket to undo them. And on one of them, you're not going to have enough room, so you're going to need to use a crescent wrench. Once you've taken off the top of your engine, what you're going to want to do is place all the components on a shop towel so you don't lose them. It'll be your engine head, the engine head gasket, and your 3 bolts. And after this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the left side of your bike, right here, and you're going to want to unscrew these 2 caps. What you'll use is a flathead screwdriver, and you're going to want to get the widest one possible to undo these 2 bolts. Once you've taken off the 2 caps, what you're going to want to do is use that 17mm socket, and make sure your bike is in neutral, because if not, your bike will try to move forward when you're moving this. And what you're going to want to do is put the socket on this bottom bolt right here and move it counterclockwise, which is this way, like that. Okay, and what you're going to look at is in this hole, I know you can't see it, but once you do it, you'll be able to see it. You turn it counterclockwise until you hit the T mark. The T mark stands for top dead center. Okay, well, I'm going to do that, and once I do that, I'm going to show you how your cams should look. Here are your cams. I'm going to show you what position they should be in. And I'll also put a picture on this video so you know exactly how it should look like. Okay, I got my bike at top dead center. You can see that little T mark right there. There's a little T, and then there'll be that line, if you can see it, it's right there. See the T, the line. The light's kind of glaring on it, but I think you see it right there. Okay, so all you're gonna do is line up that line with this right here. And after that, your cams should look like this. See? The cam should be pointing that way, like this. The other cam should be pointing the same way. You can see it on the other side. It's right there. It's pointing out. both should be pointing out like that. And I'll show a picture of it just so you know exactly what it should look like. Alright, after you've done that, you're going to want to use your 10mm socket again. See if I can pop it on in one hand. I can't do it. Okay, there you go. And you're going to want to undo all these bolts. There's going to be 8 of them, I believe. Yes, there's going to be 8. And you're not going to want to do, like, undo any bolt. They're going to be numbered. On each bolt, there's going to be a number. So I don't know if you can see it right there. Let me focus. Okay, you see? Number 2. There'll be number 8, number 6. They're all going to be numbered. So you take them off in that order. And you tighten them in that order. Before you take off your valve cover, another part you're going to want to take off is this right here. It's called your cam chain tensioner. And let me see what sizes these are. See if I can remember. I don't think that's a 10. Okay, that's not a 10. Let me check what it is. I believe it should be a, what is this? A half? Should be a half. Should go on there. See, fits. And the other socket should be a, I believe it's, oh, it's not a 10. It's a 5/16. Yes, I believe it's a 5/16. Here, let me check real quick. And I will get back to you. Once you undo this bolt, you're going to want to be careful because there's a spring in there. And you don't want it to pop out and lose it. So do it slowly as possible. You'll feel the tension once it comes off its last, what do you call it? Its last thread. There you go. See how it popped out? And there's the spring. And you pull it out. And you put it on your blue shop towel so you don't lose it. And let's see what the other size was. See if I was right. If it was a 5/16. And it is. It's a 5/16. Okay, so then just undo these 2 bolts and put it on your shop towel. And this right here, if you just wiggle it, it should pop right out. After you've wiggled out your cam chain tensioner, what you're going to want to do is push down this locking purl and push it down. This is very important because if you don't do this, you could break your engine. Because what would happen is your cam chain could be too tight and it could snap and then, you know, just mess up your engine. Before you undo your valve cover cap, what you're going to want to do is make sure on your sprockets that the IN for intake and the EX for exhaust is facing outward, like so. If you're doing a valve clearance check, what you're going to want to do is once you're in top dead center, you'll put your filler gauges underneath your cam lobe, which will be under here, and you'll put it under this cam lobe, which is back here, right there. And you just stick your filler gauges underneath there to take your measurements. And then once you know your measurements, then you'll know how to re-shim. And I'll show you a picture of a shim chart for this bike. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to measure the clearance under here. And once you've undone all your bolts to your valve cover cap in numerical order, remember it's in numerical order, so remember to do that. So once you pop it off, you'll be able to pop out your cams, and underneath your cams will be these right here, which are called your valve buckets, and you're going to want to lift them up. And when you lift them up, underneath them there's going to be a shim. And the shim, it's a little tiny metal thing. It'll be cylinder, it'll be circle. And once you've done that, you'll need to measure it. So you'll need to take the measurement for underneath your cam lobe and the measurement that's underneath this valve bucket of the shim that's underneath there. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Once you've unscrewed your valve cover bolts, 2 of them are going to be longer than all the others. And those 2 are going to be number 6 and number 1. 1 is right here and number 6 is right here. Those 2 bolts will be a different size. So just keep that in mind. Okay, a trick that I've learned when doing valve clearances is to mark your cam chain. So when you put your sprockets, your camshafts back in, you won't have trouble locating where it should be or having to take it out and put it back in, take it out and put it back in. So what you're gonna do is on your cam chain, you're gonna want to mark it. So right there I marked it in a circle, and right here I marked it in a circle. And then another thing you can do is mark your sprockets right there exactly where the tooth should be. And there's another one right there. Also, before you take out your camshafts, what you're gonna want to do is get your camshaft chain, well, yeah, your chain, and get a zip tie and put it right here and zip tie it up here so your cam chain doesn't fall into your engine. Alright, once you've zip tied your cam chain, there will be your valve buckets, be 1, 2, 3, and 4. On this side it will be your exhaust, and on this side it will be your intake. And how you'll know that is your exhaust will be connected on this side, which is, where is it at? Where's my exhaust? Okay, it's right here. And your intake will be on this side because right here is your air box. Alright, once you know which valves are out of spec, you're gonna want to lift your valve buckets on whichever side is out of spec, either your exhaust or your intake, or if both are out of spec, you're gonna want to lift them up, and you're gonna want to replace your shim. And your shim will look like this. Let me show you. You take out your valve bucket by lifting it up. Make sure to put your hand underneath it so you don't drop your shim. I'm using my other hand to hold the camera, so hopefully I don't drop it. But usually your shim will stick underneath the valve bucket because of the oil. So you can see, you just push it with your hand and it should pop off. You can drop it on the shop towel, like so. And there you go. That'll be your old shim. Right there. That's your shim, a little metal piece. And once you've figured out which size you need to reshim, and this is already in spec, so I'm just gonna put it back in. You're gonna get your shim and put it on there. Let me focus a little bit. Okay, you're gonna put your shim on right there. That's where you're gonna put it, and put it back inside there. I mean, go out a little bit so you know what I'm doing. Focus again. Okay, so you're gonna put it in there, and be careful so you don't drop it in your engine. There you go. Once you pop it in, you can get your valve bucket and place it back in there carefully. Just push it back in, like so. And there you go. You did a valve clearance. And after this, all you gotta do is put everything back in the same order that you did, that you took it apart. Put it back in the same order you took it apart. And remember, be careful with these so you don't drop them in the engine. This one and that one, be careful. And you're putting your valve cap back on. And remember, when you put your cams back in, just wherever you marked the sprockets and the chain, that's exactly where you want to put it back in. Don't put it any other way, because then you'll mess up your timing. That's why we marked it, so you know exactly where to put it on the chain. And if you put it exactly on the chain, you should be fine. Okay, well, thank you for watching my video. And if you need any help, or if you have any questions, just comment down below and I will help you as soon as possible. Please give this video a thumbs up. A like, sorry. This isn't Facebook. Give it a like if it helped you out, or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. And thank you for your time. Bye.